All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? We're going to call it 5 p.m. 5 p.m. West Coast time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. I'm going to say it's about 2 p.m. Hawaii time and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I'm Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And today, we've got a little bit of things and stuff going on. Today, the Paddle To Muckleshoot is coming to a close at Alki Beach. I was there earlier, so if it looks like I got some sun on my face, I actually might have gotten some sun on my face. In fact, when I went earlier today to get some footage of the canoes landing at the beach, I noticed a whole bunch of people putting on sunscreen. Didn't even cross my mind to put on sunscreen today. So, so far, so good. Not so much of a sunburn, but we will see what the hours progress and what will show up. Right now, though, we're going to start the party, and then I'll come back and say hey to everybody who's already hanging out. Alrighty then, let's do it. And now we're back. Alrighty then. So it looks like we've got Pussycat in the house. We've got Gina in the house. We've got Shock in the house. And who else do we got here? Looks like we've got me in the house. I think that might be who's hanging out right now. So apparently, according to Shock, what's happening tonight, asked Pussycat? Regret. Now I don't know what the regret is yet, but she might be referring to my potential sunburn. Yeah, very good chance that there will be regret later on. But I did spend a lot of time, as much time as I could, sitting in the shade, and I even went inside and had a beer at this one place, and it was shady inside. And oh no, Shock says you regret trying the chocolate Lagavulin ice cream. Lagavulin? Can you help me with that word, Shock? What does that word mean? Is that word what you meant to? What is that word? I don't know what you mean. So it took a few seconds to hit, but blah. Okay. I still have a hard time wrapping my brain around regretting anything chocolate. Oh, it was a PT Scotch whiskey. Gotcha. Oh, Medium 7-Up, you're here. Oh my God. So yeah, sorry I made you go to the airport for no reason. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, and most of you probably don't because I didn't tell anybody, and well, I don't know, maybe Miles told everybody, but Miles had something go on with their return trip home. And ended up with like a Seattle layover for 2 hours. And so I live like skip-a-doodle right by the airport. I'm literally right by, okay, this is how close I live to the airport. I got out of my bed at 8:10 this morning and I brushed my teeth, got dressed, went out to my car, drove to the airport and was pulling into airport parking at 8:29. Like that's how close I live to the airport. So, did I tell everybody last night that I was meeting with Medium 7-Up? Good Lord, what was I, drunk last night? I wasn't actually, but apparently I might as well have been. Anyway, I was supposed to see Medium 7-Up, and so I went to the Starbucks, because there's only a couple places that you can meet with people outside of security, you know? And so I was like, well, there's this one Starbucks, man. And so I went there, and then I got a message, and like, dude, Medium 7-Up, man, are you home yet? I mean, talk about the worst luck ever, like, delays and this and that, then an hour delay, and then blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so either way, we did not end up meeting up. Not for lack of trying, but the airline gods were just not smiling upon Miles today. Between rearranging of schedules and then delayed flights by an hour, and there was only a 2-hour window, and so between the time to get off the plane, which was super delayed, and then get out of security, and then get back in security, and then blah, blah, blah. We decided it was probably safest, or rather, I don't know if he decided it, but I pretty much was like, I feel like this is way too close to call. You probably should just not leave the concourse. You know, like, yes, we are both in the same building. We are both in the same building, and that's as good as it's going to get right now. So we didn't get to hang out. But one day, I'm sure one day we will. And good, Medium 7-Up, you are home now with Huma. Because I'll tell you what, after I got home, so I left the airport and went straight to Alki Beach to try to catch some footage of the canoes hitting the shore. And then I came home and I was a little bit tired. I got my 10,000 steps in today, and I am not used to getting in 10,000 steps. So my legs are like a little bit tired, but they're also like a little bit restless. So like I didn't get a very good nap, but I did try to lay down for a nap. And when I was laying down for my nap, I was cuddling with my kitty, and my first thought as I was rubbing my kitty's stomach was, I hope that Huma gets his belly rubbed by Miles really soon. And so it sounds like perhaps when I was thinking, I hope Huma gets a belly rub, you might have actually been home in time by that time to give Huma a belly rub. And so that makes me very happy. It also makes me happy to say that Poppy Shaney is in the house, and so is Felicia. Let's see, who else do we have that I was talking when... who else came in while I was talking about the things and stuff? It looks like Pussycat's in the house, but I think Pussycat's already been in the house. But in case I forgot to say hi to Pussycat, meow meow. Hi there, Pussycat. That was Pussycat for hi. And let's see here. So Shock, you're talking about chocolate ice cream with whiskey? Now, I kind of assumed that when you were talking about this ice cream that you regretted, that the chocolate ice cream was somehow made with the whiskey. But now it's looking like you're telling me that the chocolate ice cream was served with the whiskey? And I don't necessarily know much about whiskey, but I feel like that's an abomination unto the whiskey gods. You serving chocolate ice cream with your whiskey. Andre's in the house. Hi, Andre. You're more of a scotch drinker than I am. What say you, Andre? Chocolate ice cream and scotch whiskey? A peaty scotch whiskey at that. Not so sure I can abide. But that's okay because I don't like scotch whiskey, so it doesn't really matter whether or not I can abide. But I am wondering, scotch whiskey drinkers in the house. I mean, we already know what Shock feels about it. No. But, okay, the whiskey was put in the ice cream, but he put in too much. But the peat was not good. He should have used Oban. Oban, I'm assuming is... I don't know what Oban is. Is that a Japanese whiskey? I feel like it's Japanese whiskey. I don't know if it is. And Andre, exactly. I feel like the Scots would be appalled. But whatever. You know, you're allowed to, I suppose if people drink Coke with Hennessy, you're allowed to have chocolate ice cream with whiskey. And, okay, Oban is also whiskey, but it's not Japanese. And Andre, Oban is not a Japanese whiskey. Okay, I don't really know. Oh, even Medium 7-Up knows what's up. Oban whiskey really gets us up and dancing. Interesting. See, exactly, Medium 7-Up. I think that's why I was thinking it was, you know, Japanese, because it's the Bond dance, right? It's the Bond dance. And let's see here. So Poppy Shaney, though, is attesting to normally delicious ice cream made by Shock and Scott. All right, I have heard tales of ice cream coming out of the house that is to die for. I will acknowledge that. But I also have to say, Drambuie ice cream, I don't remember what Drambuie tastes like, but I feel like I would like that. I can't remember, though. Drambuie, does Drambuie taste like? I think suddenly I'm getting Drambuie confused with Kahlua. What does Drambuie taste like, you guys? I know I've had it. The reason why I know I've had it is because I know that my parents used to have some in their liquor cabinet. And I promise and guarantee that if it was in my parents' liquor cabinet, I tried a sip of it at some point. Didn't mean I liked it. In fact, when it comes to things like gin, where I tried more than just a sip of it, I'll tell you right now, I haven't drank in gin since then. And oh, Drambuie is a Scotch whiskey? Oh. Definitely getting Drambuie confused with Kahlua. Yes. Okay, Shock. Drambuie is Scotch and honey. Okay, I can see the bottle in my parents' cabinet. It was in their upper fancy cabinet that, like, we weren't supposed to notice that the booze was up there, but we may or may not have noticed that the booze was up there. Okay, and it's a liqueur. Okay, this is sounding familiar. And I'm pretty sure if it was Scotch based and not even anything like Kahlua, then I promise you I did not like it. I did not like it. So you can have it all. And let's see here. So okay, you often use a little booze to soften things up since we don't use much sugar. Now, I don't know what you mean by that, Shock. Do you mean, when you say soften, do you literally mean to soften the ice cream, or are you using the term soften in a metaphorical way, I guess? And, hey there, PPP Bang, good to see you coming in with your Spanish talk. That's about all the Spanish that I can speak, but, you know, hey, I recognize it as such. And, so let's see here. Our pilot friend won't eat it within 24 hours of flying when we have that, though. Fair enough. And Shock, okay, so the alcohol does make the ice cream softer. Well, that makes sense. It sort of acts as an antifreeze to a degree, I would assume. And so, let's see here. So Andre is coming in with something. Oh, maybe I was getting Drambuie confused with Bailey's Irish Cream. That could be too. Because Kahlua and Bailey's Irish Cream were two of the things that my mom really did enjoy having in the house. So, but Andre's saying, I love that Bailey's Irish Cream was not invented in Ireland. It was invented in England. Bailey's Irish Cream, wait, hold on. Bailey's Irish Cream, oh, where did it go? Was created in London by an ad exec working for a marketing brief issued by Gilbey's of Ireland, a division of International Distillers and Vintners. Gilberley's, except for not really, Gilbey's was looking for something to introduce to the international market. Got it. Gina, there have been times in your life when you wished you were invisible. This is not one of those times. Well, I'm glad to know that you enjoy being seen here, and I am glad that I like seeing you here, but I suddenly feel like I might have missed something by you that's really important. So, if I did, repeat that again, will you? Let's see here. Oh no, Poppy Shaney, you got alcohol poisoning from mixing scotch and bourbon when you were 16. Yeah, just a quick note, pro tip here. Neither scotch nor whiskey is a mixer for the other one. As a general rule, you want to put a mixer with one of them. But you probably know that by now. And yeah, 48 hours in the hospital with an IV hooked up. Even today, the smell of either of them gives you the dry heaves. That does not surprise me at all. Nothing about that. It's how I feel about gin. Like nope. And let's see here. So... yeah, Poppy Shaney, 40 years ago, that would have been much handier information, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have. That's funny. No, I knew what you meant. You could have used that information. Yep. That is so cute. And so, that is shocking, Shock says to Poppy, that you would do the underage drinking thing. On the other hand, you really did the thing, so that tracks. Yes, he really did the thing. And, you know, I dare say that Poppy Shaney's current lifestyle, current image does not really belie the past of the Poppy Shaney man that we have heard a little bit about. Would you believe he was a rocker who spent some time on Hollywood Boulevard? Would you believe that if I said the name Jeff Pilson, not only could he tell me what band Jeff Pilson was in, but he could also tell me what instrument Jeff Pilson played in that band. So Poppy Shaney and I might look at a little bit more of a rocker chick from back in the day. Yeah, Poppy Shaney was a rocker dude. In fact, last night, he should have been here for Airheads, reliving some of the wild days of his youth, because I'll bet you he recognized half those bands, half those people, and knew that at one point in his life, he looked just like them. And, let's see here, and let's see here. Andre, you can't stand gin, got sick on first class flight. Yep, there you go. And Pussycat, you, just like Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, have survived pancreatitis from alcohol. It was rough, and you still have the effects of it. Yes, so does Duff McKagan. So just so you know, Pussycat, you have something in common with a former member of Guns N' Roses. Don't you feel like a rock star? And let's see here. There's the Kirk Shaney of the Sunset Strip, and there's the Poppy Shaney old man, Jeff Pilson, bass. That is right, for the band Dokken. But nobody but Poppy Shaney and I probably care about that. And so let's see here, what else have we got going on? All right, so yes, Poppy Shaney. Not Poppy Shaney, Pussycat. I wanted you to know, this happened just the other day. My house, as y'all know, is getting painted, and because a stranger to my cats is wandering around the house, they're a little bit freaked out, right? No, just my cats. Leo walked right past my friend Chad, who's painting the house, looked at him over his shoulder like, what are you doing here? Walked into the backyard, sprayed the back fence just to let everybody know who's boss, and then went inside and took a nap. And the whole time Chad was like, oh, that's one of your cats? And I was like, nope, not one of my cats at all. And he's like, but he just went inside. And I was like, I know, he does that. Yeah, so yeah, Pussycat, bravest cat on the block right now is your Leo, just so you know. Yes. And speaking of the house getting painted, I thought I would show you guys what's sort of going on. So, okay, I picked the exact same colors, basically. And the color that I picked is Naval by Sherwin-Williams. And then the other color, the white, is the Greek Villa. So, as you can see from this graphic, the whites are all pretty similar. Greek Villa has the slightest creamier tone to it than the other stuff. But then the top part is the navy blue. And as you can see, the navy blue on top of my house does not look anything like the color swatch of Naval that I'm putting up right next to it. But turns out it was exactly the same shade as the previous color blue. And the person, Chad, who is painting it, has a hard time figuring out where he left off and where he needs to restart whenever he takes a break. So that's a good thing. But if you look in the corner, so if you look at the corner of my house where all the wires are, and you look at the side, like the little bottom corner area, you can see, if you look closely, you can see two different color whites on a couple of those boards. And so the brighter white is the old paint, and then the white that's like on top of it, obviously, is the new paint. So that, my friends, is the color scheme I chose. It's not yellow, it's not purple, it's pretty classic looking, and so just happens. And Andre, I know, you can take the girl out of the navy town, but the navy blue just follows you out. True enough to a degree. However, when I bought my house, these colors were already on the house. And I did think to myself, it's a good looking color combo. So, you know, I don't know. I was impressed. In fact, I realized that had my house been painted black and white instead of blue and white, I would have liked it a lot less, which is a little odd. So yeah, I agree, Shock. It's very classy blue. And I am not suggesting that I'm classy, but my house should pretend to be sometimes, every once in a while, maybe. And and let's see here. Pussycat, you love the new Lono album. Isn't Photo Luke in Molokai? Actually, like right now, I don't think he is in Molokai. I think, if I remember correctly, he was just going over for the Saturday bone dance and then flying out on Sunday in the morning. He might still be in Molokai, maybe. But if he is, he's like at the airport getting ready to get back to Oahu, because it was just a quick one-night trip, it sounded like, on the bone dance. Now, I know that Lono wanted to meet up with him at the bone dance. Whether or not that happened, I don't know. I'm hoping, though, that Photo Luke got some footage of the bone dance. I'm hoping that Lono, if he was there, got some footage of the bone dance. We will see. We will see. But right now, I can say that Photo Luke is either on Molokai about ready to leave or back home on Oahu. And let's see here. Poppy Shaney with the sensible colors, good for resale if you ever decide to sell. Yeah, that's what my friend Tony, who you guys might know as Soda Wax, so when Soda Wax saw the colors that I had been contemplating, he about lost his flippin' mind. And quite honestly, he went into like dad mode. I mean, dude is only like 3 years older than me. Dude, he went into dad mode like nobody's business. I mean, kind of bossing me around like, I will not let you paint your house, blah, blah, blah. The, curb appeal, resale value, blah, blah, blah. I cannot let you destroy and blah, blah, blah. So I slept on his words. He was talking sense. And even though usually when you talk sense to crazy, me being the crazy, it doesn't stick. Well, this time it stuck. I listened. So there you go. There you go. But Pussycat, black and white, not a good idea. Why? I mean, I know that I think I like the blue and white better, but what about what I mean, it sounds like you have a reason, and I'm very curious what you have against black, or what there is to have against black and white. My guess is black probably fades a lot quicker, but on the other hand, I don't know. So I'm curious, Pussycat, what's your opinion? And let's see here. Poppy Shaney with the grown-up colors for my house. What's next? Get off my lawn? Maybe one day. Although a couple years ago, I actually did. I had some kids playing on my front yard, on my front wall of my yard. But the rock wall, the rocks are kind of fragile. Like, they fall apart easy. And so I wanted the kids to be careful. I was like, look, if you're going to climb on the rock wall, just so you know, the rocks are kind of going to disintegrate underneath you, and it might be dangerous. And so at that point, they were like, oh, no, we're going to leave. Sorry. And I was just like, but I didn't tell you to get off my lawn. I was just trying to tell you to be careful on my lawn. But apparently, telling kids to be careful is just as good as telling them to get off your lawn. And Pussycat, there's a black house in your neighborhood, and it looks terrible. Oh, you mean like they painted the whole house black? Oh, that sounds like a nightmare. There's a house, it's a really big house. In fact, I think it's a house that's been converted into apartments down in Georgetown that is on a main intersection, huge house, and it's all black. Black with black accents. It is gross. Yeah, no, I figured you meant the house was painted black, right? Because that's what we're talking about, house paint. No, and that, it looks gross. It does fade fast, but the thing is now that I think about it, it does fade fast. But what I don't like about that house is every time I look at it, all I can think of is how much hotter is it inside that house than a house painted white, you know? Because, like, my house has full southern exposure. So the last thing I want to do is make my house any warmer than it needs to be. And if I painted my house all black, I can only assume it would just suck up the sun and the heat, right? So a black house in Florida, a house painted all black in Florida, sounds like a nightmare. Even if it looked good, it still sounds like a flippin' nightmare. But as Chuck is saying, black doesn't look all that good, and it gets hot AF in the southeastern Virginia sun sign. Okay, all right, so yeah, so I am right. It does get a little bit warm. And PPP Bang, you'd love to live in a fully black house in the woods of Norway and play some heavy metal. Well, you know, you could do that, but I will say that if you're going to be in the middle of the woods in a black house, your house is probably going to be covered with green, algae, and pollen very quickly, because I can only assume that your woods in Finland are a little bit similar to our woods here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's amazing how dark, damp, wet, mossy, and pollen-y things can get when you're under the cover of the trees. Yes, indeedy. And so, oh, Poppy Shaney, you've got to go. I thought a real hurricane, like actual weather phenomena, was hitting your way, but no, it is just your grandson, Anson. All right, have a great rest of your Sunday as well, Poppy Shaney. Hope you and Anson have a great afternoon. And let's see here. Hey, Picola T, where you at? Quick drive by to say howdy to the Statter crew. Stoked you could come in and say hello. We've got a lot of little people coming in and out real quick like this, because, you know, it's a weekend. It's a summer weekend. People have things to do. And let's see here. Andre, you got yellow aluminum siding at the house you're at right now. The other house is gray and white. Yeah, well, see, I was thinking yellow might be cute, but apparently yellow was not a good thing. Or maybe it was the purple I was going to pair it with. Maybe that was the problem. Whatever. And PPP Bang, I hate people who have huskies in Florida. Dude, me too. Huskies in Florida, Samoyeds in Hawaii. Those cold breed dogs do not belong anywhere in the South. Unless you've got like a devoted ice tub for them, they just don't belong in the South. I mean, I feel bad for huskies sometimes in the winter, or excuse me, in the summer down here. And you know, it's only like 90 when it's super hot here. And, right, Pussycat, you painted your house white because it would deflect the sun rays. It's kind of what my logic was, you know. I figured, fine, if you're going to talk me out of yellow, then I might as well stick with the white that, you know, stick with the white that I already got, basically. So, yeah, if you're on the Big Island, you can take them up to Mauna Kea, but most people who live in on, you know, in the Hawaiian Islands, they don't live on the Hawaii Island, the Big Island. They live on Oahu. And Oahu, well, not known for its snow, really, you know. And let's see here. Yeah, bright white and blue are the Greek island themes. And the white that my house is being painted, Greek Villa is what it's called. So let's see here. Gonna run and grab dinner. You have to teach in about 12 hours. What? Maybe 7 up. What? How did? Wait, your school starts already? I'm very confused. But go eat and then go sleep. Summer camp. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, good excuse. You're excused now. You can go eat. As long as you give Huma a little ear scritch for me. So there you go. And Picola Tea, only island snow on Oahu, if you're lucky. And by that I mean you don't want it mixed with fentanyl. Pussycat, oh no! Kylo's a black German Shepherd and he's staying inside during the day in the air conditioning. Abso-flippin'-lutely. But you know, the thing about German Shepherds, though definitely suited for cold, they can shed so much that they're kind of a different, I mean, I'm sure that some of them stay floofy, but like Samoyeds and Huskies really, no matter how much they shed, there's still an overabundance of floof. And oh, Pacola T, you mean the shave ice? You mean the shave ice? Yeah. I thought you meant something else entirely. Well, we know where my mind's at. And yeah, Andre, the other problem with Huskies, or actually any super floofy dog, is yeah, they end up shaving them, and then they shaving them down, and then they get a sunburn, and then also, when you shave them down, it actually helps. Some of that floof does help keep them cool, and so you actually can end up making them hotter, even if they don't get the sunburn. And so let's see here. Pacola G, you only speak of wholesome things. That's right. And yeah, the undercoat doesn't come back right. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard also about dogs like that. I've also heard that about Pomeranians, the little super fluff dogs, you know? There's a haircut that's really popular for them that's called like a teddy bear cut. And you shave them, you know, kind of down, and then you make their face all round, and it is super cute. But people who know about the breed are like, that is the worst haircut you could possibly give your dog, because basically the hair will never be right again. Once you've cut it down that short, the undercoat gets all messed up, and you've basically ruined your dog forever. I don't know enough about that breed to explain greater than that, but apparently the teddy bear cut, which is so cute, you really shouldn't get it to your Pomeranian dog. And whoa, wait, what? PvP Bang, you had a hot air balloon crash land like 200 feet from your house last week? That was a weird sight. Holy crambly wumbly, dude. Oh, right, Pacola T, exactly, were there survivors? I know that, like, this is a random fear to have, but seriously, you guys, I kind of have this fear of something falling out of the sky near me and coming at a quick enough, indeterminate enough landing area that I don't know if I can or will be able to get out of the way, be it an airplane, be it a hot air balloon, be it a race car flying off the track into the stands. Like, I actually have, I have a strange fear of that. And so I would freak the flying fork out if I happen to witness a hot air balloon just careening in my general direction, as it were. And so let's see here. Okay, so PvP Bang, the people managed pretty well. There's so many trees around, and there's a small field, so they did well. Well, that's good. Yeah, exactly, Verity Hunt, by the way, hello. Holy Spumoni, exactly. Like, that would be really weird. I don't even know. Well, okay, I know that I would freak out and I would feel a little bit panicked, but I'm also not sure that my brain would comprehend exactly what it is that I'm seeing. Because how often does your brain, how often do you see something like that? And so it was over a lake, and they had some problems, and they tried to look for a place to land fast, and the only place they found was a small field across from your house. Wow. Well, I'm glad for that small field, I guess. Goodness. And Pacola T, am I going to start wearing tinfoil hats for protection against falling objects? No, because here's the deal. The objects that I'm really afraid of are objects that, like, are bigger than a roll of tinfoil. Although, when my cell phone fell off the garage 3 floors up above a parade route that was happening below, even though this isn't very large, it did occur to me that when attached to a gimbal, which it was pretty heavy. And if it hit somebody on the head, it would be a problem. Luckily, it did not hit anybody on the head, but there was a parade right below where I was, which was why I was videotaping. And when there's a parade, there's usually people on the street. So yeah, lucked out there, and PPP Bang lucked out. Once in a lifetime experience, really odd to see, but didn't hit you. And so no, Shock, usually you don't freak out until after I dodge. No, in fact, here is an example. I was 20 some odd years old, whatever, at a friend's house. We were inside. I think we were like doing something wild and crazy, like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. And someone went outside to smoke, and suddenly like, oh my God, that plane is on fire. It's gonna crash. And just hearing those words made me panic. And I like grabbed my purse and like exited the house to see where I needed to not be. And as it turned out, something was going on with the plane. There's no two ways about that. Sparks and the like. But it wasn't on fire. It wasn't going to crash. But from what my friend had said, it was like the plane is going to fall out of the sky into the house right now. So I had to grab my purse and I had to leave the house. Like that was just my first thought. So, yeah, no, I freak out before there's even a reason to freak out. I freak out when there's no reason to freak out. Yeah. Did we go back and finish the jigsaw puzzle? Yes, we did. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we all went outside to watch, and then we went back inside to, yeah, once everybody was done with their cigarettes, we did go back inside. I didn't have a cigarette because I actually don't know how I never caught a smoking habit, but I never did, so I wasn't smoking cigarettes. I'm not saying I wasn't smoking something else that night, but I wasn't smoking cigarettes. And, let's see here. You remember being in France on July 14th, Bastille Day. They set off fireworks right over your campsite, and you got showered with the clay of the exploding fireworks raining down on us. Well, that seems a little rude. Did they not know that you were camping there? I mean, you need to be cognizant of where your debris field is going to be when you're shooting off, especially the big ones. That just seems rude. Either that or you guys ignored some warning signs and decided, oh, this will be a great place to camp. And then you were just like, no, this isn't a good place to camp at all. And Andre, the person in the house that I hit now has a fear of cars crashing through their house, so maybe the fear is karma. I was afraid before I crashed the car into the house. That being said, yeah, maybe it is. And for those of you who don't know, there was a time in my life where I was trying to go to the beach that I was at actually today, getting footage of the canoes hitting the shores. I wanted to get there before sun went down, so I was kind of racing against the clock. I hit some gravel. I don't really know what happened. I hit some gravel, I guess. My car went out of control, clearly, and I ended up hitting somebody's house. Nobody was hurt, thank goodness. I didn't have any illegal accoutrement in my car when it happened for like the first time in ever. I had literally just cleaned out my car the night before. So maybe I could see the future, Andre. But I will say, it was me hitting the house that made me believe in guardian angels. I am not normally one who believes in guardian angels, but I literally, and I still don't know if I believe in them, but I have no other explanation for what happened. So like, I go and I accidentally hit this house, right? And I get out of the car, and as I'm getting out of the car, this dude from 1978, like an AC/DC shirt, 3/4 length sleeve, baseball collar, the crew neck, the collar, 3/4 length sleeves, kind of rock and roll shirt, blonde mullet. I mean, he was right out of 1978, dude. He appears seemingly out of thin air because I didn't see him on the street, and he's in the yard. Like, he's in the yard and he's all, "Are you okay, man?" And pretty much like that. And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "Have you been drinking?" And I was like, "No, dude," which was true. I had not. And he's like, "Do you need me to take anything?" And I knew what he meant by that. And so I look in my car and I realize, oh wait, I got nothing in my car for once. And so I turned back, I was like, "No, dude, I'm cool." And then I turned my attention to the house, and the next thing you know, dude's gone. Like, boom, he disappeared into thin air. So, I think that he was my guardian angel. A mullet head from 78, you think you know the guy. Yeah, exactly. We all knew the guy. He was my babysitter back when I was 5. No, but seriously, Andre, I have a scene for the next Clerks movie. Perhaps, yeah. I don't know about that, but that could make a good scene for sure. Because it was, I don't know. All I know is that even though I didn't need him, a good Samaritan showed up that day, and I was forever grateful. So there you have it. And Andre, well, yeah, when you're 5 years old and you have a sister who's 1 year old, you don't get left without a babysitter. Like, that just doesn't happen. Especially when you've got a sick 1-year-old sister with ear infections. But we won't get into that. Silly sisters and all their sicknesses. So you want Azrael or whatever his name is to be your guardian angel. I don't remember which one that is in Good Omens. But I would like to have the guardian angel that I have is actually perfectly fine with me. I don't know his name. I don't know, but he's perfectly fine. I like him that much. And you want the muse? Yeah. But which one, Andre? Did you want Bartleby the muse? Or did you want Crumb, the chick who's the actress's name, who's I forget, and the character name. Selma, yes, Selma Hayek, but whatever. Was her name Serendipity? What was her name, though, in Dogma? I think it was Serendipity? Yeah, so let's see here. Oh, Shock, you only mentioned him because the new season just dropped and you binge watched that. That would explain why I've been seeing the ads that I've been seeing, if that new season just dropped. Because I've been seeing a lot of... I haven't actually been paying attention, obviously, but I've been seeing things that reminded me of that show. And because there's the characters that were in it. So, all right, makes sense. Yeah, Selma was inspiration, but Bartleby was too. Bartleby was also a muse. That's the character that Jason Lee played in Dogma. He was also a muse. But then he got sent down to hell because he refused to fight in the Battle of the Angels when Lucifer went against God, because he was an artist, and artists shouldn't have to fight. And God was like, well, you didn't choose a side, so that means you chose the devil. You're going down to hell. And hey there, Coffee 00 person. I'm just gonna call you Coffee person. Hope you don't mind. Good to see you, first time chatter. I'm Ed Statter. You are now part of the Statterbox crew because you said hello. Right now we're talking about guardian angels in a very non-realistic sense. Like whether or not you'd rather have Bartleby or Serendipity from Dogma to be your guardian angel, or whether you'd want the somebody from Good Omens. I have a random guardian angel who showed up for me once. He's a stoner dude from the 1970s. And yeah, there we go. Shock's got the synopsis so far. We've riffed on house colors, booze, alcohol poisoning, floofy dogs. Now we're talking about guardian angels, and the conversation actually made sense, even though it doesn't sound like it would make sense. Gina, thank you. I'm guessing you just did a little Google search, and it was serendipity. Okay, because that was just the word that kept coming to my brain, and it was like... But the problem is, I really like the word serendipity, and I use it a lot, and so I wasn't sure if I was just thinking of it because I like the word, or if that was really the character's name. So, cool. We know now serendipity. Perfect. Okay, so... It is 5:50, which means we might be needing a little bit of a Lono listening break. That's right. But before we do a Lono listening break, I do want to let all y'all know, in case you don't, you might have noticed that Darlene and Rick have been missing the last couple episodes of this stream. Last night at the theater, at the cinema, and right now, they're also not here. That's because they're up north with their kids, grandkids, excuse me, and they're at some kind of chalk festival. Now, I don't know what exactly a chalk festival is. Does that mean that you get to color all over everything with chalk, which is awesome? Or does that mean like you get sprayed with chalk powder and then you turn into colorfulnesses? Because I've seen things that are like that too. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. But what I do know is, when Darlene said that they were going to go to a chalk festival with their grandkids, I said, you better. And so I also thanked them for letting us know that they wouldn't be here because they are here so often. If they go missing, it is nice to know why they go missing. And so in case any of you were wondering, where are those two? They're at a chalk festival. I don't know what a chalk festival is, but that's where they're at. And, let's see here. Andre, you had a guardian angel when you were 9 and got separated from your mom in the Paris metro. And I grabbed the outside of the train to see my mom inside the train and the janitor guardian who pulled me off the train and saved your life. Wow. So, did your mom get off at the next stop? And then, like, how did you get hooked up back up with your mom? And good Lord, man, your mom really did not keep very good track of you. I can't imagine having that happen under any circumstances with my parents. Even my lame dad would never have had that happen. He might have been drunk, but he knows enough to put me on the train. Although, actually, his sister, I could see his sister doing something like that to me. She did it on an elevator. She left me in this hotel room, right? It's like this, check this out, dude. It's a hotel, a huge hotel in Waikiki. Honolulu, Waikiki. Huge hotel. I'm 3. All of us are, it's a bunch of family is staying in the hotel, different rooms of the hotel. And, the parents are all doing one thing and this, that, and the other thing. And anyway, my stupid auntie wanted to go from one hotel room to another, but just for a quick minute. And I guess she didn't want to take me to the hotel room that she was going to. So as we're in the elevator and the elevator door's opening for her to go to the room, I go with her because I'm supposed to go with her, right? She tells me, no, you stay here in the elevator. And even at 3, I knew how elevators worked. I knew that as soon as that door closed, that elevator was going to go someplace else. And I didn't know what floor it had stopped on because I was 3 and I didn't know my numbers yet. Either way, luckily, an old grandma and grandpa got on the elevator shortly after my aunt left on a different floor, and I'm this little 3-year-old alone in an elevator, and any other grown-up who saw that recognized, well, now that ain't right. We need to make sure something happens with this little one, because that ain't right. So I tried to explain, but I didn't know where she went, and so they rode the elevator with me, up and down, until my aunt got back on that elevator. And then they took my aunt off the elevator with me, And I don't know what they said to her. But yeah, they were guardian angels when I was a 3-year-old in the elevator. Yeah. And so let's see here. And Andre, yes, she did come back. She even had her best friend with her, and she didn't see you either, and you were crying, and the janitor was saying, "What the hell is wrong with you?" in French. Right, but you understood and you thought you were going to be left in France. Right, yeah, exactly. That is abso-flippin'-lutely, what you're thinking. I mean, when you're 9, when you're 5, when you're 3, when you're 6, that's exactly what you're thinking. And let's see here. You two, Shock, you're saying, "I'm glad my family was just your usual boring old alcoholic dysfunction, not child abandoning dysfunction." Well, mine was a little from column A, a little from column B. Sometimes, they blend. But on that fun note, why don't we enjoy our Lono listening break? And I believe I did not write the correct song in the credits, so while we're listening, I'm probably going to correct what is written there. I can tell you this, though. The song is off of Lono's newest album, When Ancestors Speak. You can get it at lonomusic.com, and if you've already gotten it, you can get gift cards at lonomusic.com for your friends. So, we are... Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to listen to Lono in a second, but Coffee Person, you don't know if you can say if you had a guardian angel, or like an almost happened incident. Well, that's what the guardian angels are there for, to make sure it almost happened, but didn't. And you were 11, walking near a building, you stop walking to check your phone when suddenly a light bulb fell in front of you. Oh, dude. Let's see here. Apparently a child was throwing things out the window. Nice. Well, I guess if it was a tiny enough light bulb, probably wouldn't have done too much damage. But yeah, dude, you might have ended up bleeding. I'm glad that you checked your phone. Normally, they're like, "Oh, those kids these days, they just can't get their nose out of their phone." Sometimes it's a good thing you can't get your nose out of your phone, right? Yeah. All right. So, okay, we're really gonna do it this time. I promise. That's why my fingers are crossed. It's Lono listening break. Let's do it. Boop. All right, there we have it. Now, to make it official, because I might have said it, because Shock says I said it, but I might not have. So, hey Gina, good to see ya. Always great to have you here. I am super stoked. We've got our regulars in the house. Well, okay, we don't have some of our regulars, because they're up at the cabin, and they are at a chalk festival, which is great. And, let's see here, coffee person. It's 5 a.m. right now, and some guy outside is singing a Russian song. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Coffee person, where do you live? Are you coming at me as PPP Bang as a different person? Because you and PPP Bang seem to be in the same time zone. Let's see here. Where are you at, coffee person? Because Finland is the coffee capital. Are we being bamboozled by two different people that are the same people? Even though, if I remember correctly, PPP Bang is not a coffee person. Oh, you're from Georgia, the country, not the state. Oh, wow, fantastic. You know, that is so funny you should say that you're from Georgia. I mean, it's not really funny, but a couple streams ago, PPP Bang, who's from Finland, was talking to us about a certain kind of, what was it, a rice pie or something? It was a savory dish that was some sort of dough filled with rice and this and the other thing. And the way he described it, I was like, wait, I think I know what that is. But then later on, I looked up what I thought I was looking up, and it's not the same at all. But what I was thinking of was there's a Georgian dish that is this like bread that's filled with cheese and like has an egg yolk on it or whatever. And you like, I think the bread might be filled with cheese too or something. And you like take the bread on the outside and you use the bread on the outside to scoop whatever the stuff is in the middle. Can't remember what it's called, so I'm gonna have to look it up so you know what I'm talking. Yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. Khachapuri or something like that. Yeah, I'll tell you what right now, dude. I have never had that, and I resent that I've never had that. because every time I see a picture, a video, a whatever of that, all I can think of is I need it in my mouth yesterday. Why is it not in my belly right now? Where can I get one? Where can I get one? Where can I get one? Yeah, they're delicious. And for those of you who don't know what the flying fork I'm talking about, I'll see if I can pull up a picture while we look at other stuff. In fact, why don't we look at other stuff? Because here's the deal. So, as I mentioned earlier, I got some sun today. There may or may not be a burn that's going to develop, which happens easily. But the reason why I went out to the sun today is because the Paddle to Muckleshoot is culminating with the canoes landing at Alki today. Alki Beach is a beach in West Seattle, and the Paddle to Muckleshoot, for all of you who don't know, is a intertribal journey, canoe paddling journey that starts both on the coast of Washington and up north in Canada, and all of the associated tribes that are participating, one by one, paddle from one location to the next until they all gather together at the end of the journey. This year, the end of the journey is Muckleshoot, and they're landing at Alki. And so over 100 indigenous canoes and all of their paddlers landed today on Alki Beach. And I went down to get some footage. I've got some footage. I will be putting it together. But I also got some pictures. And so I will show you the pictures of the canoes. And here we have that. And then while we do the pictures of the canoes, I am going to see, and as you can tell, Shock just put a link to the Wikipedia so we can see what the flying fork it is I was talking about with this Georgian thing. But I'm going to see if I can find it on my Facebook stream, which probably is not going to happen. I've got a picture, basically, and so it might just be easier to show a picture or not. So right now I'm just, scrolling. And here we go. Oh, darn.
We tried
video.
Georgian food for the first time in New York City.
Well,
Chama Mama in Chelsea is a modern restaurant dedicated to letting its guests indulge in the country of Georgia's cuisine, like their khachapuri. Open-faced bread baked fresh to order in a hot iron dome, packed with blended cheeses, an egg, and some butter. This cheese was so stretchy it probably could have touched the ceiling. We were instructed to break pieces of the bread off and dive right in. Oh my god,
you guys
we were blown away. This
hear me think out loud while I'm doing the things and stuff. And
we got an order of their
we can do it. All right,
Georgian soup dumplings filled with. We tried Georgian food for the first time in New York City. Chama Mama in Chelsea is a modern restaurant dedicated to letting its guests indulge in the country of Georgia's cuisine.
Awesome. So that's what I'm talking about. This is what I thought.
Chama Mama in Chelsea is a modern restaurant.
I thought maybe Bang was talking about, but instead it's not what he was talking about. But if you
were instructed to break pieces of the bread off,
well, if you don't like cheese, I'll happily change that off of you.
This is the ultimate. This cheese was so stretchy it probably could have touched the ceiling.
How about that? Is that better? Sorry, Shock. So there we go. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so is that better, you guys? Oops, wait. Yeah, is that better, you guys? And so, yes, that is the khachapuri. That's how I'm going to say it. Yeah. So, but are we okay? Okay, so you guys, I flying blind. I don't have my thing. Okay, it sounds like everybody's saying it's better. Sorry, you guys, I pushed buttons. And Bacola T, you're back. Oh, good. Because you're just in time for not seeing my mistake. And let's see here. Coffee person, you can also be eaten without the cheese. Personally, I hate cheese, so you just eat it with the egg. Well, What's wrong with cheese, man? So, okay, so Shock, wait, when you say that I've only got one audio now, does that mean you cannot hear the Eevee music? Or does it mean you can? What is going on in the background? Hold on. Oh, never mind. That was my background. Okay. All right, coffee person. You're a picky eater. I'll cut you some slack. Okay, we do have music. I am normal. Fantastic. Actually, that's a lie. I am not normal. Don't even. And, that's okay, coffee person, that you're a picky eater, and I will cut you some slack, but mostly I'll cut you some slack because you'll just have to give me all your cheese. That's all. You just have to give me your cheese. And then if you give me your cheese, then we're all going to be happy. That's right. Okay, so we saw the copy curry, which isn't what it's called at all. And I'm going to massacre that name on accident. Sorry, you guys. But let's go back here for the canoes for just a second. So I only got to maybe take a picture, when I was there, I got there near the beginning. So by the time I got there, there was maybe 10 or 15 canoes that had already landed, and then maybe another 10 or 15 when I was filming, and then I just wandered around and checked some things out, and I thought, and I thought that they were done. I thought that all the canoes had finally got aboard, and so I was starting to leave, and then I noticed on the horizon a whole new wave was coming, and so I honestly have no idea how many canoes ended up on the beach. I do know that they were expecting over 100 canoes. And so I took a couple pictures of some of them, but walking on the hot sand was really flippin' hot. So I didn't walk down and take a picture of all of them. But I liked this one that had the Bigfoot. I thought that was very cute. And then this blue one, I believe, was the first canoe to come ashore, get permission to come ashore. And yes, exactly, Verity, those cruise ships are sick. I actually, though that picture is not the best picture, it was taken with, ultra zoom and, things get a little shaky. I wanted to include that just to show the juxtaposition of the size of those things with the tribal rowers, paddlers in front of it. And so, let's see here. The picture that I'm talking about should be coming up fairly soon. Yeah, so even though not the best picture, not the clearest, we've got 2 cruise ships at in dock right now. And the native paddlers in front of it, I thought it was a neat shot. I wish that it was a little clearer, but, it was from a cell phone far, far away. And there you have it, rabbits. That's how that happened. Now, let's see here. I think, let me see what else here. So this is all, excuse me. Hey, Andre, thank you so much for gifting Kulika a sub. Now these pictures are all pictures that I took today, that we're going through again and again here. But here are some pictures. Let's see. Oops, not that one. Okay, yeah, I think. Wait. Huh. Okay. Well, all right. So, no. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So here's some pictures when the Quinault arrived at the Elwha. I don't think we saw those a few days ago when it originally happened, and so this is the Ho tribe that represents the Ho River Valley, and the Ho River Valley, by the way, on the west coast of The state of Washington, one of the most beautiful rainforests in the world. That is right. We have rainforests in Washington State. They're known as temperate rainforests instead of tropical rainforests. And all along southeast Alaska, west coast of British Columbia, and the west coast of western Washington are the temperate rainforests. And so let's see here. So that's that. And yes, the white paddles do look a lot like giant feathers, but also actually take a look at those. The paddles. Okay, not here. We're getting there. Hold on, we're getting there. Not all of the paddles are shaped the same, but the ones that the Ho tribe have are all this style of paddle. And the paddles that the Ho tribe have, which seem to be more commonplace, the Ho tribe, by the way, was coming from the Pacific coast of Washington, the actual ocean. So the ocean tribes, the ocean-dwelling tribes, you'll notice that their paddles are very pointy on the end. They're not the rounded paddles that we're used to seeing among a lot of, paddles, as it were. And the pointy paddles are used by the coastal tribes, so they won't have to switch tools when they're out paddling and hunting. Those pointy paddles are actually intended to be used as weapons. So instead of hunting your seal and then having to put your paddle down and get your pointy club, you've got it all, and it's a multi-tool, y'all. It's a spear paddle, precisely. And I didn't know that till recently. I had been wondering, because the footage that I'll be sharing with you guys eventually, you'll probably notice that there is a bunch of different styles of paddles. And I did notice that some tribes they're very pointy. And Elaine, so good to see you. And I did wonder, what's the point of the point? In prepping for this whole paddle and scouring the internet for timelines and pictures, etc., I ended up picking up some native wisdom, and apparently, according to a member of the tribe from the coast, they're stabby paddles. That's what they are. They're all stabby. And hey, Terry in Scotland, so good to see you. 22-month streak. All right. Now, did you come in on a raid, or are you just coming in? I'm not quite sure, but that's okay. I am super stoked you are here. And let's see here. Shock, you believe the Okinawan paddle is also somewhat stabby? Not at all surprised. Not at all surprised. Whenever I hear of seafaring cultures having similar stuff, it does, it makes sense if the tool works, right? And Pokolati, lots of Polynesian paddles are also stabby. Yeah, and then of course, when you start looking at the nuances of the paddles, you realize some of them really are stabby. Like, oh, that's not just for show, that is a pointy point. And then other ones are still look stabby, but they're kind of rounded. And then other paddles are just distinctly rounded. But I definitely noticed the tribes from the actual ocean, the coast, not the inland Salish Sea, which is also coast but different. The inland Salish Sea tribes don't seem to have as pointy of a point on their paddles as the ones out on the big open ocean. And let's see here. Yes, exactly, Verity. The only deciduous rainforest in the contiguous United States. Exactly. That's what we got in Washington. Although Southeast Alaska has it too. However, I don't know if they're considered part of the contiguous because they're not connected. But either way, yes, we are very lucky in Washington State to actually have a literal, bona fide, tried and true rainforest. And if you go camping in the rainforest, Yeah. Bring a tarp. Or 12. Because if you don't, you might end up sleeping in your car. I might know that. For reasons. For reasons. And let's see here. So you just walked in off the sidewalk there, Terry in Scotland, and Ashes, Dusty, and Leo say meow in your general direction. Leo probably is actually in the house somewhere. My cats right now are freaked out because my house is getting painted, and that means some stranger is on the property, so they must be hidden. Whereas Leo is just like, I own this joint, so I don't know why I need to hide. And, excuse me. Andre, do we have any redwoods up in Washington State? Oh, I'm sure we have the occasional one that somebody probably planted and it's happened to be in a good microclimate. I know that right by my boss's, right by where I work, we have a sequoia. But as a general rule, no, redwoods, we don't have redwoods up here. I mean, yes, I'm sure somebody somewhere has one, but no, not naturally, not thriving, no. Nope. I think the redwoods really are restricted to a very small part of the coast. But one thing I did learn about coffee person, there you go. That is exactly, coffee person, I see you've met my cat, Leo, because my cat, Leo, is actually not my cat. He's a stray, who treats my house like it's his. And that's exactly what Leo would think. Why do I need to hide? I'm not in danger. I am the danger. Clearly, you've met my cat. Or the cat that thinks it's my cat. The cat that sent me to the hospital last year, actually, is what that cat is. But let's see here. No, what I was babbling about before about the trees, I found out that the madrona tree, which we have in Seattle, a ton of madrona trees, they actually can only grow within a mile of the coast because they need the salt in the air to survive. Now, I always thought that my house was about a mile from the coast as the crow flies, but I never really bothered to measure. But my yard is full of, has 3 different madrona trees, and so clearly, and they're thriving. So clearly, I'm close enough to the ocean or the salt water to support the madrona tree. And let's see here, Andre, you have 2 kinds in California now, coastal and the kind in the mountains. Yeah, that's what I've read. And Shock, both of the houses you lived in as kid had redwoods. Where did you live? I thought redwoods were a California thing. You didn't... What? Shock, help me understand. Andre, help me understand. Are there redwoods on the East Coast? Are there... Where... What? Help me understand. Yeah, but redwoods, like the coniferous evergreen redwood trees? They have... There's no redwoods on the East... I don't know if we're talking about the same kind of tree. I guess what I'm thinking is we might not be talking about the same kind of redwood? Or are we talking about the same kind of redwood? Are we talking about the same kind of redwood? Let's see here. Andre, madrona is the red bark kind of tree. Yeah, and the red bark peels off. That's exactly it. And yes, Picola tea. The leaves falling from that flippin' tree are relentless. Madronas are some of the messiest flippin' trees I've ever had. But let's see here. It had the fuzzy, stringy red bark. And Picola tea, you're smelling a deep dive into redwoods. Yeah, you know me a little bit too well, my friend. You definitely know me a little bit too well. And so, okay. And coffee person, I think you and I are obviously brothers and sisters or something from another mother, because I am the cat whisperer myself. And if I see a kitty, I try to pet it. But let's see, Andre, Coast redwoods range from southern Oregon to central California, extending not more than 50 miles inland. Only as far as the coastal climate has its influence. Fog plays a vital role in the survival of these trees, protecting them from the summer drought conditions typical of this area. And so, so I'm very confused is what I'm confused about. And so, let's see here. Okay, so they're not naturally occurring. The Brookside Gardens, where Gina and you spent a few hours recently, had a dawn redwood. I don't know what a dawn redwood is, but I do know that we're going to be taking some notes here. Dawn redwood. Sounds like a really good fake name, actually. Hi, I'm Dawn Redwood. I'm from Kentucky. And I would like to start a new identity, please. And, let's see here. Metasequoia glyphostroboidus. Okay. Given the sequoia mention in the name, I'm going to maybe assume that it is related to the redwoods, but I'm so confused. I'm just so confused. All right then. Now that we know nothing, I'm still confused, but that's all right. That's all right. And Andre, Dawn Redwood, either a male porn star or a Chippendale dancer. Oh, you were thinking D-O-N. I was thinking D-A-W-N. But yeah, yours makes way more sense. Dawn Redwood, that's totally a porn star name. I mean, if that's not a porn star name, then I've never watched porn before. Yeah, no, I know that you wrote D-A-W-N, shock, which is what I wrote down, but yeah, that's not how Andre's ear took it. He took it in the male persona, as opposed to my female persona, where I'm gonna steal the name and become someone from Kentucky. That's right. I'm gonna keep it. Say that I'm from Kentucky. Oh my God, you guys, we only have 3 minutes left. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I had actually some things and stuff planned for all y'all today, but I guess we're not going to get to them, and that's all right. That is all right. So, Shuck, I know you're trying to keep this stream clean. I'll tell you what, it's getting harder and harder every day for me to deny my true self, but I am doing my best to keep everything PG-13, at best, PG-13-ish. And, nope, no discussion of bird nose digging tonight. And, well, I guess there it goes, right there. We talked about bird nose digging right there. And, all right, so Andre coming in with more redwood facts. Coast redwoods range from southern Oregon to central California. Oh, wait, hold on. I think we already... Andre, you double dipped, which is probably why you said, sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, well now this is interesting. This is probably what he meant to do, which is coastal redwoods are actually from New Zealand, where and they flourish. Other redwood groves exist in Italy, Portugal, United Kingdom, South Africa, among other countries. It is so weird. I would never have associated redwood trees with South Africa. Like, what? And you know what? That's okay, coffee person, that you gotta go, because we do too. This stream is only an hour and a half, and so we've got 1 minute left, which means it's time to wrap everything up. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out, talking about everything, talking about nothing, making fun of people, making fun of no one, and everything like that. And I want to thank all the subbers, the resubbers, the gift subbers. I want to thank Coffee Person for coming in and being a great addition to the Statterbox crew. I want to thank PPP Bank for coming in and saying hello. I want to thank Picola T for coming in twice and everything like that. I want to thank Andre. I want to thank Gina. I want to thank Let's see here. Poppy Shaney, I think I already said that. I want to thank Puzzycat. Cola T, I think I already said that. Who else do I want to thank? Did I say Shock? I think I did, but I'm going to say it again. Verity Hunt, definitely want to thank you. Elaine, we want to thank Elaine. We want to thank Terry in Scotland. And let's see here. Who else have we got? We've got a bunch of people I'm sure that I'm missing. I know I'm missing one other person at least. And so for that, I apologize. I'm trying to scan and be all casual about it, but it's not really working. So I'm sorry if I missed y'all, but I'm glad you were here. Super stoked to see you. Verity, did I say goodbye and hello? Hello and goodbye? I feel like I might have, but if I didn't, there we go. Hello and goodbye. Okay, we'll see each other. Hey, Cindy Krause, I don't remember seeing you. Did I see you? Did I say hi? Because now it's time to go by. And yes, I did say Pacola T. I did remember her. I said her twice, actually. So, hello and goodbye. Goodbye and hello. Aloha, everybody. We'll see each other tomorrow, hopefully, Daily Pigeon Live with Andy Bumatai, 6 p.m. West Coast time. Figure out the math every place else. But if we don't see each other tomorrow, we will see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time for another Chatter with Statter. And at that point, hopefully, I will have the video of the canoes coming in to the beach from this afternoon. And on Wednesday, we will find out if this turned into an actual sunburn. We'll be waiting with bated breath. All right, then. Have a good one, y'all. I will see you soon. Take care.